SpongeBob and Patrick were the best friends living in Bikini Bottom. One day, they were preparing to attend the biggest shark festival in Bikini Bottom. One of the most important competitions of the festival was the shark costume contest. SpongeBob and Patrick decided to participate in the race with the shark costumes they designed specifically for the festival. While preparing for the race, SpongeBob noticed something. Patrick's costume resembled a crab instead of a shark. SpongeBob said to Patrick, "Patrick, your costume is wrong. You are a crab, not a shark." Patrick smiled and said, "Oh yes, you're right. I forgot that annoying crab." However, a problem arose between SpongeBob and Patrick when the competition began. Their costumes were so tight that they couldn't move. SpongeBob and Patrick realized that they could not race in the shark competition. But they did not give up, they thought of a quick solution. They decided to participate in the competition by exchanging each other's costumes. When the race started, SpongeBob started racing in Patrick's costume and Patrick raced in SpongeBob's costume. At first, everything was going well, but then things got out of hand. SpongeBob lost his balance while moving in Patrick's costume and fell down. He wanted to take off the costume, but he couldn't. Patrick, on the other hand, was able to move quite comfortably in SpongeBob's costume. Using his costume well, he finished the race as the leader. After the race, SpongeBob continued to fall to the ground because he couldn't take off his costume and accidentally knocked down a bunch of people in shark costumes. SpongeBob and Patrick returned home after the race. SpongeBob still couldn't take off his costume. Patrick wanted to help him by cutting the costume, but SpongeBob insisted that he would not cut it. Eventually, they searched for ways to take off the costume together and found a solution. They decided to freeze the costume using ice cubes. Although this idea seemed very silly at first, it was worth a try. SpongeBob and Patrick began to wait for the costume to freeze in the freezer. However, this led to an unexpected result. After the costume froze, SpongeBob and Patrick realized that the frozen costume looked quite funny. Moreover, the costume that tightly fit SpongeBob's body began to slide and cover his entire body. Patrick looked at SpongeBob's half-frozen costume and said, "You look like a real snowman." SpongeBob was quite upset about the situation. However, after a while, he and his friend Patrick embarked on a new adventure using the Iceman SpongeBob. SpongeBob scared and pranked people by using his frozen costume as an Iceman. People believed SpongeBob's Iceman trick and were very scared. For a few days, SpongeBob and Patrick scared and pranked many people using the frozen costume. People started to see SpongeBob as a symbol of fear and terror in Bikini Bottom. Nevertheless, SpongeBob felt quite amused knowing that it was all just a joke. However, one day, when SpongeBob and Patrick were preparing for a new prank, they encountered a few real icemen. Compared to the real ones, SpongeBob's ice costume looked weak and dangerous. SpongeBob and Patrick were chased by the icemen and had a lot of funny incidents. Finally, SpongeBob and Patrick managed to escape from the icemen. However, they still enjoyed their dangerous adventure. SpongeBob never regretted the funny and exciting adventures that his costume brought him. When they returned to Bikini Bottom, people still saw SpongeBob as a symbol of fear. Nevertheless, SpongeBob was happy with this situation as long as he knew that he was not scaring others for real. And that's how SpongeBob and Patrick's Iceman adventure came to an end. SpongeBob and Patrick continued to live happily in Bikini Bottom, relying on each other and continuing their lives full of funny adventures, just as they always did.